Today is finally transfer day. My husband and I are on our way down to the clinic. This has been a long time coming. So earlier this year, this summer, I don't even remember, end of July, we had an embryo transfer. My IPs had 2 embryos left. So we transferred one, and that one was unsuccessful. And really for no reason. Like a lot of unsuccessful transfers, there are no answers. So, they have the one left. So we planned for another transfer, and that was going to be in November. So everything working up to that was great. But then 5 days before transfer, I got COVID. So that was canceled. Super frustrating. Really disappointing for my IPs, of course. But now today we're ready. All my testing, my ultrasound, my labs have been great leading up to this. So everything should be in place. I've got my water. They have you drink 40 ounces of water prior to your arrival. Something about having a full bladder makes the ultrasound imaging easier. So I've got that going, and I'll try to take little snips of videos and photos to show what the actual process looks like. The embryo transfer today went well. I am back at home now. The whole transfer itself takes, I don't know, not very long at all. You just lay there. They put up the tiny catheter with the embryo in it. We got to see the embryo on microscope. This last embryo, the last one that my IPs have left, has not started to hatch yet. It's not considered a super awesome quality, but we still got to see it, which is always nice. And honestly, the worst part about an embryo transfer is having such a full bladder. It's really uncomfortable, and you really don't want to pee all over the place when they're trying to do this. So that was just fine. I've had a few embryo transfers before, and different physicians have different recommendations for the rest of the day. I've had some physicians say bed rest for like 24 to 48 hours. My physician right now says no bed rest at all is necessary. Just, take it easy. And honestly, research doesn't support bed rest being a necessity, but my standpoint is this is the best part about an embryo transfer is just go home, relax a little bit, take a nap, read a book, watch some Netflix. I have a nice lavender candle going in here, so it's like a poor man's spa. It's not going to hurt anything to relax for a few hours. I go back in 9 days for my pregnancy test. And of course, that's a really long 9 days. But it is what it is. And I continue all my medications. It's super important to just keep on everything. Your clinic will let you know if you need to stop something for any reason. But now it's just kind of keep it on, but especially taking it easy. And yeah, in 9 days, I'll have something to report. Today is Thursday. My transfer was last Tuesday, and it's time to go to the clinic and get my blood drawn to see if baby's growing and if I'm pregnant. And I'm basically feeling sick to my stomach with nerves over this. I just don't know. My IPs will be incredibly disappointed if this doesn't work. I don't know what their next steps would be. This is their last embryo, so I don't know if their plans would be to make a new one, but I mean, hopefully it's positive, right? I don't know why I'm thinking negative. Like all week long, I've been feeling like I'm pregnant, and I haven't told them because I don't want there to be any false hope associated with this. Because what if I'm not? Like, what if I'm just making things up, or if I just want this so bad, but it's not actually happening? I don't know. But anyways, my fertility clinic is an hour and a half from here, so I'm just gonna go to a local clinic. Which is convenient for me, but then it means it takes longer to get the results. So yeah, I mean, if the past week and a half haven't been long enough, this is really going to be like the longest day ever. And I guess no matter what, it is what it is. There's nothing I could or should have done differently. The meds are going fine. I haven't forgotten anything. And it just sucks because this is a science, and it's so specific yet uncontrolled, right? Like, in a perfect world, every embryo that was transferred would implant and result in a healthy pregnancy, but that's just not the reality of it. So, I mean, whatever happens will happen. Yeah, let's go do this. So I got my beta HCG results back, and nothing is as nerve-wracking as, when you get that in your inbox. And mine was through my portal. It wasn't a phone call. So depending on your clinic or scenario, you might get a phone call from a nurse, but mine was just, boop, you have a test result. And it was positive. So that's just beyond awesome. My beta was 134, which is considered very good. I saw that and called my IPs right away, and they are just so pumped, and just we're all really excited that this has worked out. So the plan is, normally I would go back in 2 days to get it rechecked. They like to see a double every 2 days, I believe. But Christmas is 2 days, so I'm not going to go in then. I'll go in 4 days for a recheck. If for some reason it doesn't increase like it should, or if it starts to go in the wrong direction, that's a sign that it's going to be a miscarriage. And I'm not like negative about this. I don't know, like just with my own infertility stuff, being a carrier too, like I'm just very focused on one step at a time. And today was a great step. There's still a long ways to go. But yeah, this was good news today. We're all super excited, and it makes it all the more sweet having it be 2 days before Christmas. Today is a big day. I have my confirmation of pregnancy ultrasound this afternoon at the fertility clinic. I forget how far I actually am. I'm not 7 weeks yet, 6 weeks in some days. So typically they do the confirmation of pregnancy about this time. Obviously, you can't hear the heartbeat, but if it's there, you'll be able to see it on the screen. And I don't know how they do it, but they like measure the wavelengths or something to make sure that the heartbeat is above 100 beats per minute. Indicates a healthy baby. So I have that this afternoon. Sorry for the dog whining in the background. We're expecting it to be just fine. Last week I did have some bleeding unexpectedly. And let me tell you, when you just have to go pee and you go to the bathroom and you find blood, like that's pretty much the last thing you want to see when you're newly pregnant. But at the time I messaged the nurse, and she said discontinue the aspirin. They've had me on an 81 milligram aspirin, which is pretty standard. But given that acts as a blood thinner, she said stop that, but continue everything else and just kind of hold tight. So fortunately it was just that one episode of bleeding, and it really wasn't very much. So yeah, I know first trimester bleeding is not uncommon. Like sometimes there's a reason for it that's discovered, sometimes there's not, but it's not like anything that you need to panic about. I wasn't having any cramps. I otherwise felt fine. So anyways, big day. We'll see how it all plays out. Had the ultrasound today, and baby girl is doing well. It was so nice to see the little heartbeat. She's measuring exactly where she should be. I mean, there can still be some variation, but she is right on target. Strong heartbeat. I do have a little subchorionic hematoma, which explains the slight bleeding that I had, but the nurse wasn't worried about that. She said it looks like it's actually starting to clot and kind of be on its way to being resorbed. So that is that. Officially pregnant now. So that's awesome, and my IPs couldn't be more thrilled. I think they kind of wish that, they didn't have to wait the next however many, months to actually have their baby. If they could take a baby home from the hospital tomorrow, they'd be willing to do that, as would I, but we'll all enjoy this in-between time here too. I am discharged now from the fertility clinic. It's time to just get established with my OB and kind of that routine, boring prenatal care, but very excited to be at this point. And it's been a long road, so one that's definitely worth it. So pregnancy cravings are such a weird thing, right? Like, they really come out of left field. I remember with my oldest one, it was grapefruit. My second one, it was fruit punch. With the twins, this was maybe the weirdest one. I would put a slice of cheese on a cookie sheet and bake it until it was just about burned and like really like dark brown and crunchy. And oh my gosh, I called it burnt cheese, and I ate several slices of burnt cheese every day for quite some time. With my last pregnancy, my surrogate pregnancy, it was oatmeal cream pies, so that was not good for anybody, but you know, I limited that one. This time around, it is canned peaches. And unfortunately, I live about 20 minutes from the nearest grocery store, so I've got my kids home today. You can hear them in the background. The craving is not worth that schlep. But anyways, not diced peaches, but like, you know, those nice thick slices. And if they were like icy cold, oh man, it sounds so good to me. But maybe sometime this week I'll have to go treat myself to those canned peaches. Otherwise feeling pretty darn nauseous. So it's like, you know, if something sounds good, you just got to take advantage and do it. I went and did grocery curbside pickup today. Got some peaches, stuck them in the freezer for an hour. These are everything I dreamed they would be. What a weird craving, but man alive, this is good right now. Today I have my first OB appointment. Now, I guess the OB office, they don't like to see you when you're pregnant until you're like 12 weeks, and I'm technically 10 and a half weeks, but the fertility clinic wanted it like that, so they're doing their thing, I guess. The only concern is, I guess, if the baby's not quite big enough, it's too hard to hear the heartbeat with a little handheld Doppler thing, but I'm excited to get the party started here. Unfortunately, my IPs are, well, I was told that they can't come because of COVID restrictions, so even though I really tried to argue my case with the scheduler that, you know, these are the parents, they should be able to be there for their baby. Whatever, I'll pick that fight another time. We are just gonna FaceTime. She assured me that the OB is okay with them FaceTiming in, and they live about an hour away, so realistically it's probably the easiest for everybody involved, but I'm very, very excited to have this first appointment and kind of get on with a normal pregnancy. I am now 12 and a half weeks pregnant. And for me, this is baby number 6, pregnancy number 5. I've had twins before, so I guess the fact that I'm only 12 weeks and I've got a bump, like, shouldn't be surprising. But this really, like, popped out this past week. Previously, I still had, you know, pretty flat tummy, and I could wear pants, real pants, but now it's bust out the stretchy pants. Fine by me. It's fun to be showing a little bit now. But yeah, just all the more evidence that she is growing. As far as pregnancy sickness, like, it's definitely still there. I am in bed from, I don't know, like 5 o'clock until actual bedtime. So I'm very thankful that my husband has been, you know, willing to cook dinner, feed the kids, do the cleaning, do the baths, all that business. My parents have helped out. My in-laws have helped out. So it's been tremendous. And to be honest, it's been a really rough few weeks, not just from a pregnancy standpoint. Like, it's just been the norm, I guess, the normal basic sickness. But my kids have all had ear infections, colds, and the stomach flu. And of course, I get it because you can't not take care of your kids when they're barfing. So inevitably, it's like, oh gosh, I know this is headed my way, and you know, whatever. We got that over with. But to be in your first trimester and then also get the stomach flu was just not what I needed. Also compound that with the fact that it's February and I live in Minnesota. It's not like we can all go outside and get some fresh air lately. It's been way too cold for that. But yeah, 12 and a half weeks. So close to the second trimester, which to me, it feels like such a milestone, I guess. And maybe in some ways it's a little bit bittersweet because I know this is my last pregnancy. Like for real, this is it. I thought that my last surrogate baby was going to be my last pregnancy, but you know, but I wouldn't be cleared to carry again. I've kind of hit my max number of pregnancies per like reproductive medicine standards. So anyways, where I'm going with this is it's almost a little bit bittersweet that this is the last first trimester I'll ever have. So I think I am going to be soaking this pregnancy up a little bit more than other ones, perhaps, knowing that this is the last time I'm going to be able to feel, you know, a baby kick inside of me and all that stuff. But anyways, still doing well in the scheme of things.